fancy to see you here, just hanging out in Dubai.
It's my first time. I'm loving every minute of this trip. It's been incredible. I've never been. There got to a certain point where I felt like I wasn't going to come until Dan had a runner, and I'm glad I waited because it's been really fun to enjoy this just as a fan and as a supporter the last couple days.
You hear everybody describe and try to explain the city and explain this magnificent racetrack, but until you see it with your own eyes, there's no way to really put it into words, right?
I think it's the architecture that has struck me the most. It's just how beautiful all of the buildings are. Not only here, the racetrack, the hotel, but if you go downtown, if you go through the financial district, just the creativity and the architecture is absolutely amazing. And everything's so over the top in the best way. It's like the breakfast at the Stars was one of the most fancy, ornate breakfast events I've ever been to, let alone at a racetrack. It's been wonderful.
Watch your step right on the back.
Back the edge.
Christina, tell me about what it's like to be a fan. You know, we're here on set all day. We're there. We can see the horses, but what's it like walking around and being part of this whole experience?
Yeah, I think there's so many things to see, so many places to visit, so many different areas to sit, to enjoy. The food is phenomenal. I've been loving all of the different offerings that they have. And everybody seems so passionate about the racing. You know, it's really taken hold of the entire town this last week. Everywhere you go, you see signs for Dubai World Cup, and you feel like the horses are so celebrated here, and that's, I think, what's the most special.
As Raging Torrent heads into the winner's circle, we don't want to steal his moment and steal Frankie Dettori's moment, but let's get back to racing. You're here for a reason. You're here to watch Straight No Chaser do his thing. I know Dan's got his own nerves going on, but how's your stomach doing?
Terrible. I'll be really honest. I'm very nervous. I didn't feel as nervous in Saudi. I think after Breeders' Cup, because it was just so euphoric. Saudi felt like a bit of a cherry on top because we were going international for the first time. You didn't really know how he was going to handle that surface. Feel a bit more pressure here in Dubai because he won in Saudi. The talk leading up has been this Tuz versus Straight No Chaser clash. And
That's Jess mentioning that.
I think people are really firm about which side of that battle they're on. I've had a lot of comments on social media, on Twitter, of people really throwing some shade because they're big Tuz fans. So I'm excited to see how it all plays out. But it's also, you know, these speedsters. Who knows how it's all going to shake out away from the gate with Super Chow in there, who's very fast.
Yeah.
It's going to be an exciting one.
You got Tuz, who's got the home support, so you know that they are going to come and give it everything. But with Straight No Chaser, tell us how many people there are from MyRacehorse in that fan club.
Well, so I think the number of his actual owners are 953, if I'm getting it correct. About 40 of them made their way here to Dubai. We went to a really nice cocktail party last night with all of them, but they've had an incredible experience. They went out to the camel races. They went on a yacht one day. They've had fancy dinners, the breakfast at the Stars. They've gone back to the barn to watch him train. And I really appreciated how MyRacehorse has made it about the entire experience. But I would be lying if I didn't say we feel a lot of pressure. There's a lot of people that I met a gentleman last night. He hadn't had a passport until this trip. I met a lady whose daughter is getting married, and she only had 2 more vacation days for the entire year, and she took them to come here. And so I want to win for them. I want the trip to be perfect. I know they've enjoyed the trip, but what everybody wants is to go home a winner.
Yeah, win or lose, it's going to be a trip of a lifetime for them, and of course for you as well, and all of us. Thanks for coming down and spending some time. We'll let you get back into, I don't know what we call it, competitive mode. We're just going to will that.
I'm washing out.
Will that win home.